Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well. Rob back for another video, but you'll be relieved to hear that it's not a record fair finds. Unfortunately, after being to three recently, I couldn't find one that was local enough to sort of warrant the travelling. So yeah, that's fine. I've bought quite a bit of stuff and sort of record fared out, I guess you could say. So yeah, happy to have visited Ben's yesterday, and yeah, this is kind of back to my usual sort of finds that I get periodically from his shop. So yeah, there's actually one online purchase which I'll actually kick off with. Yeah, some of you may remember that I met up with James Griffiths a few weeks ago when I was last on holiday in Grangeover Sands, and he wanted, or he told me previously that he was looking for a copy of Pete Townsend and Ronnie Lane's album Rough Mix. Yeah, I sort of figured, because I'd seen a few copies around over the years, that that it would be relatively easy finding another copy, because James was really struggling to get it, and I know it was on his kind of wants list, so I was happy to part with it. Yeah, as luck would have it, I think about a week after I came back, I was reading blog on new vinyl releases and found out that they were actually looking to re-release the album on Abbey Road Studios. So it's and yeah, it just came out I think on Thursday, I think it was, or Friday, could have been Friday, but it's a brand new release anyway. So yeah, Rough Mix, Ronnie Lane, Pete Townsend and Ronnie Lane. So the Ogie strip that came with it. So yeah, this is, it's this half-speed mastering malarkey. If I'm honest, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of these things, because I think sometimes it's maybe a little bit of a placebo effect on the ears. One of the last ones that I bought of these, which was McCartney's Flaming Pie, I thought it was very staticky. I mean, I didn't have any point of reference or another copy to compare it to, but the sound, I wasn't that impressed with the quality of the sound. But yeah, so anyway, so it is another Abbey Road Studios half-speed mastering issue. I just basically just wanted another copy of the record. So, but yeah, as it turns out, it actually sounds pretty good. I've got this new technique now with because I got so fed up with modern reissues of them just sounding dreadful straight out the gate, that I literally don't interfere with them at all unless it's not in a polyline bag. Then obviously if it's just a plain white inner, I just cut the white inner, throw it away, and then deal with the static. If the static's really bad, I clean it. I try not to clean it though, because I find that you get a lot of you push a lot of surface dust in right from the outset, and then it's an uphill battle trying to get it clean again. So I haven't done that with this, and the static is very minimal because fortunately it's in a polyline sleeve. So yeah, it's the Polydor, same as to reproduce the original. Yeah, and it's just a great record. I mean, for those that aren't familiar with the history of this record, this was kind of recorded when the Who were in a hiatus period, and I think Ronnie Lane approached Pete Townsend to ask him if he wanted to produce an album, because he obviously had some songs to record. Pete Townsend wasn't interested in producing a record, but he was happy to have a collaboration or do an album with him. And so, yeah, the sessions began, and yeah, this album was born. So it's kind of, it's like they just sort of take turns to you know, in terms of the songwriting. I don't think any of them are, I'm pretty sure none of them are co-written. Yeah, actually Rough Mix, the title track is, but yeah, I mean, this is just quite a mellow album. It does rock up in places a bit, but some beautiful ballads. Annie, Ronnie Lane ballad is just beautiful, aching ballad, really, really nice. My Baby Gives It Away is good upbeat opener from Townsend. Yeah, Nowhere to Run, that's a nice one. Misunderstood's great. Street in the City, fabulous. That's probably my favourite song. That's Pete Townsend pen number, which is just fully orchestrated, and you know, some people say it's a bit over the top. I really enjoy it. I think it adds a lot of atmosphere to the track. It's also the longest track on the album. And then there's a cover to finish, which is Till the Rivers All Run Dry, which is quite a nice, slow, bit downbeat, slightly downbeat end and conclusion to the record, but a great listen. If you haven't heard it, well worth picking that up. Okay, so all these now are used finds from Ben's. So yeah, he did his usual, sent me a list of records, messaged me earlier in the week, so I had a chance to stream them, see if I liked them. Yeah, just kicking off with this one. This is Sam Taylor, and this is Mist of the Orient. I must admit, when I first saw the cover, I thought that it was you know, a soundtrack to a film, particularly I guess with the MGM label there as well, but it isn't. It's actually Sam Taylor's American tenor jazz saxophonist. This is actually an album that he recorded in Japan. Apparently he recorded quite a lot of his output in the 60s in Japan. Well, I think there was quite a big interest in jazz. So yeah, and this is it's really mellow, quite cinematic in places. So yeah, you can get you can almost imagine that it could be used as a soundtrack. But yeah, the sax obviously is quite prominent in it. Yeah, it's a bit loungy in places, but mellow. It creates an atmosphere, just a really pleasant listen, and it was at a really good price, so I was happy to pick it up. Okay, next one, another one I hadn't heard of. This is Joey Mulland. So, and this is an album called Natural Gas. So this is a one-off album that was produced by a band that Joey Mulland put together. Joey Mulland was a guitarist from Badfinger. He left in 1974 through, I understand, managerial disagreements, and yeah, formed this band with, I forget the guy's name now, from Humble Pie, Jerry Shirley from Humble Pie, and yeah, produced this album. I believe this is the one and only album that they did. Yeah, and it's quite sort of power pop-ish, very upbeat, great playing, really good upbeat songs. This is a promotional copy. There's the gatefold. You see it's got interesting sticker there, suggested playing cuts, which I guess was for DJs at the time. It's on That's the inner with the lyrics on private stock. Yeah, and really enjoyed it. Yeah, just a good, upbeat. It's kind of its time, you know, but it's well produced, good vocals, good, really enjoyable, upbeat listen. Kind of yeah, power pop rock kind of from mid-70s. Yeah, great, good listen. So that's Natural Gas. Okay, this one, yeah, I played this, in fact I pretty much played the entire album actually. So usually I sort of skip through just to sort of get a feel, general feel, because I don't always have a lot of time when I'm reviewing these records, but this is quite an intriguing listen. So this is an Australian band called Pira, and this is a 1970 album. This is reissued on Magic Box Records. It was actually sealed. I've stuck the that was on the hype sticker that was on the cellophane. So yeah, this is from 1971. So I think this is, not sure, maybe the first time it's been reissued. But yeah, progressive kind of rock. Really changes up a lot though through. You know, it's not samey. Sometimes records from this period that are, you know, progressive rock records can be a bit samey. This one isn't. It's got some great singer's got some great vocals, quite soul-y. So yeah, and it comes with an information sheet with a bit of background on them. When they came to the UK, shared a bill with Quintessence, Free and Deep Purple. Yeah, and says they were, all journalists asked them if they were leaning towards Afro rock, which they kind of dispel and say, no, that was just something that we were playing around with to get an idea of the kind of the intense kind of percussion and so on, which does feature on this album. So, but yeah, good listen. That's Pira from 1971. Okay, and then the last one was one I wasn't expecting to get, but Ben asked me if I wanted it. I think he'd upgraded this record and had bought a French copy, which he preferred over this UK one. But I was happy to have it because he let me have it for a really good price. So this is Stivell, so that's Alan Stivell, and this album From Celtic Roots. That's Alan and the band from 1973 on Fontana. And yeah, so obviously Alan Stivell, yeah, famous for the Celtic Harp album that he did, which I think was from about 1970, was it 71, something like that. Quite groundbreaking in terms of sort of the sound that he got with the harp and sort of bringing it up to date and making it a more sort of progressive sort of sound. This one is with the band, so you've got Alan on the harp, but also playing in a full band as they appear there. So a kind of fuller sound, I guess. They do some traditional songs. Yeah, She Moved Through the Fair version of that. I've seen this album around. I've never picked it up, and when I have seen it, sometimes it's been quite pricey. So, like I say, Ben let me have this for a good price, and it's in lovely, lovely condition. So yeah, happy to pick that one up. So that's it, guys. Yeah, quite a quick one again. So hope you're enjoying the hot, sticky weather that we've got at the moment here in the UK. I think waiting for another storm. So, but we're getting the men round tomorrow to fix our roof in the lean-to utility room. So hopefully we won't get flooded out thereafter. So that'll be a good job. Yeah, so hope you have had a good weekend. Everybody, you're going to have a good week ahead, and take care, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.